Hello, this is Rich, and just showing you guys a little update on my dynamic conversation scripting editor. And I told you guys that I was going to be adding some more autocompletion to it, and also the ability to edit already existing XML files and existing questions, and that's what I'm showing today. As you can see, I don't have any XML files on my desktop, so let's go ahead and open this app up. I had two buttons. Remember, one worked, which was the create new files, and the other didn't, modify existing file. But since I don't have any, let's go ahead and create a new file, and let's name it test. Or how about we name it something else so that you guys can see it? It doesn't need to be test. Caterpillar. How about that? Caterpillar. XML. Yes, I want to create it. As you can see up here, conversations file. Caterpillar XML, my desktop. And the question number is read only. I can't change it. That's because I don't have any questions yet. So it's going to create the question number with 1 because I don't have any questions. So it's going to autocomplete this question number so you don't mess it up by accident. You're going to notice something new here, and we'll get to that in a few minutes. But currently, let's go ahead. Just keep in mind there's a lot more error checking and autocompletion that needs to be done, quite a bit more. But I just wanted to show you an update, and I'm also releasing this version as well to you guys on MediaFire. So let's go ahead and type in the question. Do you like cats? And by the way, the question here, I don't know if you guys know this or not, I don't think I mentioned it, but the question is not what I'm asking the computer. The question is what the computer is asking me, and the response is what I respond with. Okay? Just want to let you know. So we're like, do you like cats? And question number 1. Let's go ahead, and I'll just put a question mark, adding a question mark to the phrase that the speech recognition is going to speak out. Allows it to better accurately sound like it's asking a question by the way it's talking, because it knows it's a question. So go ahead and ID of 1, a question ID of 1, response ID of 1. And just so you guys know, to be a little bit more clear, a question ID of 1 means that when he asks or she asks this question to me, and I respond, if my response has a response ID of 1, then it's going to say, okay, then what I just said is a valid response to the question he just asks. Question ID is when I say something first, or even if I respond to him on what he's saying, that response has a question ID as well, and it goes ahead and it searches all the questions that has a same question ID of what I just said, and he goes ahead and responds appropriately based on his feelings and other actions during the game. So there we go with that. I'm going to add variables just to show you that we have variables working, and obviously you can add as many as you like, on and on and on and on. And we're going to make him ask this question only if he's feeling happy, and we're going to wait for a response. Well, he's going to wait for a response, and we're going to go ahead and click next, and we're going to type in our number. Currently the player response number does not have auto-completion. That's one of the things that I'm going to work on. And this ID here should also be the same as question ID, and this ID does not have auto-completion on either. That's something I got to work on. Let's go ahead and add a player responses. Do I like cats? Sure, I do. It's very important you do not add a question mark or any exclamations or period at the end of the question as you would without any punctuation on the player response. And go ahead and type an ID of 1. Again, this should be the same as your player response number in the future. Next update, it will have auto completion. Question ID, give it a value of 2. This will be corrected as well, because if by chance you don't want to link this response, as in when you say this, it's going to look for a question that has the same response ID, question ID as 2, and he may ask you a question that has nothing to do with what you're talking about. So in the future, it's going to let you know when you enter a question ID. It's going to let you know, hey, I've detected that the question blah 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 has an ID of 2 as well. Is this the question you want to link it to? You can click yes or no, just to make sure you're not linking it to a question you don't want to. But currently, I don't care about that. So let's just put 2. Response ID is obviously filled in because this is a response to what he's saying. So you want it to automatically match up with the response IDs. So you can't change that. Again, it's read only. And when you say this, it's going to add what kind of feeling to him. What kind of bias is it going to add? Let's just say happy. And we'll go ahead and click next. And we'll review our information. Everything's all correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 variables. And we're going to go ahead and click finalize. And we're going to exit. Last time I showed you, we didn't have any sort of writing of the response. We only had writing to XML of the question data, but now I've actually implemented the writing of the response. So let's go ahead and open this caterpillar.xml file, and we can immediately see here we have dynamic conversations, which is the root, dynamic questions, which is the root of the questions. We have question 1 with an ID of 1, question ID of 1, response ID of 1. We have 8 variables, variable 1, variable 2, variable 3, all the way to 8. End of the variables, we have question, do you like cats? Happy, wait for responses, yes. End of question 1. End of the dynamic questions. Now we have the dynamic responses section, and for response we have response 1, an ID of 1, question ID of 2, response ID of 1, to make sure it's paired up to the response ID of this question. So it knows that this is sure I do. Anything that sounds like that is something that's valid for the do you like cats. And we have a feeling of happy. End of the response 1. End of dynamic responses, and the end of the actual script, whole script file. That's just one response. Now here's a really cool feature that I added in for auto completion in editing pre-existing files, and this app is meant to be user-friendly and to replace going into this XML. After this XML is made with this program, actually you should only make the XML, modify the XML with this app and not directly with the XML file at all. You should always be using this app. Let's go ahead and open it up again. And this time we're going to go ahead and click modify existing file, and we're going to go choose the file that we want to modify. In this case it's caterpillar.xml, and as you can see, question number is 2, and we're working with the Caterpillar XML file, and we can write a whole new question to the XML here. This will allow us to add another question to the XML file. Let's just go ahead and do that. But first I want to show you a nice cool feature. Since we already have an existing XML, we're going to say yes, we want to modify an existing question. I'm going to click the checkbox. You're going to immediately notice that all of the boxes here are grayed out, meaning you can't type anything in them or select anything. You can't check anything. I'm clicking everywhere and not getting a response. That's because I don't want the user to be able to modify information about an already existing question. It's just to write another response to that question, so you can have more than one variables of responses to his question. And question number is 2, obviously, because it already read the XML file. When we click this checkbox, find and check it, it'll still be 2, and everything will be ungrayed. Question 2, that's because of the fact that we already detected that it had 1 question in there, so it auto-completed it with 2, and you can't change that. But let's go ahead and modify existing questions, and you see this number 2, and we're going to go ahead and click the drop-down box, and we're going to see a drop-down 1, do you like cats? And that's the existing question here. Let's go ahead and click it. You're going to immediately notice that the question number is 1 to let us know that that's what the question number is. Here's the question that it is. You can't modify any of these. It has an ID of 1, a question ID of 1, and a response ID of 2. And you can't select any variables, but it lets you know that it has a feeling of happy. It is waiting for a response, and these are all the variables. So let's go ahead and write another response based off of this question. So, do you like cats? I said, sure I do. And then he'll respond appropriately to that. Just go ahead and click next because we want to add another response to this. And go ahead, play responses 2. Again, this would be 2 auto-completed, but it's not done yet, and so will this. Add 2, a question ID of 2, and you can see the response ID as 1, so this response will also link up to that same question. Now for this one, we can say, no, I actually hate cats. No, I actually hate cats. And if I'm going to say something like this, maybe it would make him a sad point to him or something like that. Depending if he likes cats or not, he'll feel sad. Just go ahead and put feeling of sad. Let's go ahead and click next, and we'll review the data. Okay, before I have a disclaimer. I have not implemented not rewriting the question data, so it's going to actually rewrite the question data in the XML. But when you have this checkbox checked here, modify existing question, it's going to be fixed in the next update. It will not rewrite the question data; it'll just write the response to it, because you don't want to have 2 question data to the same. It'll confuse the system. But as you can see, here's all the variables. This is a glitch here too, but don't worry, it'll be fixed in the next update. And do you like cats? Yeah. This is all the existing data. Actually, hold on. Yep. Yeah, okay. You guys can probably see what's happening here. Even it's adding these variables in here. Like they're new ones. So that's the easy fix. Anyways, let's go ahead, and it's feeling sad. No, I actually hate cats. That way you have 2 ways to respond. You can tell him I like cats, and he can respond a certain way by you scripting it. Or you can write, and yes, I do like cats, and he'll respond differently to that. So you can have, more realism. The more questions you write, the more options that you write with this app, the more realistic the conversations are going to be and involved. I think you guys will love it a lot. Let's go ahead and finalize this. And we'll just take a look at this here. We have question underscore 1 with all this data. And we have question underscore 1 again. That's because it rewrote the data. Like I said, it was an error. It's an easy fix. But with this one, we have all these variables here. We have end of question 1. But for responses, we have the sure I do. And then for response underscore 2, we have linked up to the same question. No, I actually hate cats. And it makes them feel a sad point to it. Pretty damn cool, I think. Let's go ahead and exit this again. And open up our scripting app. I'm going to modify an existing one again. Open up the Caterpillar's XML. And this says 2. The reason for that is that since we rewrote that question, even though we have 2 questions, the question numbers as 2 question underscore 1s, so it thinks the next one is 2. So that's not an issue. I'll show you the difference here in a few seconds. But let's go ahead and modify an existing question. Do you like cats? Because we only have that one. So let's go ahead and redo this here. I'm going to open up the Caterpillar's XML, and I'm going to get the question 1. Okay. And I'll go and delete it and save it. Yep. So we're going to modify an existing XML. I wanted to show you in that previous step that you can actually set the previous existing, and it's 2 again, obviously. You like cats, see? I just wanted to show you that you can do that and go ahead and add another response to that to add more options. But we're not going to do that right now. We're going to create another response, another question here, a different one. And how old are you? Just another question here. An ID of 2, question ID of 2, response ID of 2. And auto completion will make your life easier in the next update. And not going to have any variables in this one. But it'll make him feel like upset. He'll ask this question if he's upset. Obviously he wouldn't, but there we go. And we're going to wait for a response. Click next. And response number of I don't have auto completion, so I'd have to look in the file. Okay. Anyways, of 3, ID of 3, question ID of 3, and it obviously updated this with the 2 because we were linking this question to the how old are you. So how are we going to respond to how old are you? We'll just say 18, like that, and it makes them feel confused, okay, just randomly. And we're going to review the data, make sure everything's okay. Yep, everything is okay. So we're going to go ahead and finalize, and we've done that. And you guys saw that I was restarting the app, closing it, and reopening it. So I didn't do it this time. I didn't close it and reopen it. Reason being is because I wanted to show you guys that you don't have to restart the app. It's all updated in real time with the XML. I don't have to close it out and reopen it to get the new data. It's all upgraded in real time, except for the question number apparently. So yeah. Oh crap. You could have just gone to the first one and modified an existing file and load it up again. But as you can see, the question number is 3. Just like that. And if we go here, you can see we have 2 questions. Do you like cats? And we can see all the data has a ID of 1, all these variables and stuff like that. How old are you is question number 2. How old are you here? And this is an error here. These variables are giving me errors. But that'll be fixed here. But he's upset. Wait for responses, yes. So I just wanted to show you that. And there's an unlimited amount of these guys. You can always edit your old ones, but this app's going to be released with this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I think you guys will like this quite a bit. I'd like to say that this product is almost finished. It's almost done. I only worked on it for 2 days. 3 days I think. This is my 3rd day of working on it. So I think, first of all, it's my 3rd day working on it, and I've never dealt with Windows Forms before. This is a Windows Forms application with C++, and I never dealt with it before. So that's why I say I'm proud of myself, because I never did Windows Forms before. And for all you guys who do program in C++, you guys got that IntelliSense? Well, guess what? Visual Studio 2010 has no IntelliSense, so you have to know everything by heart. So I did a lot of looking up on Microsoft for all their classes and finding out what their functions are, because there's no IntelliSense support for Windows Forms for C++ 2010. So I was upset about that. That's why it made it 10 times as hard. I could be done 10 times as fast if I had IntelliSense, but it doesn't. I get no help. And it doesn't even tell me if I have an error or not. It doesn't underline it in red or nothing. So I have to go all by, I don't know, whim, I guess. But yeah, I think you guys would appreciate that. Let me go ahead and add another one, just so you guys can see this here. So let me go ahead. We're not going to modify the existing one. We're at question number 3. Because I want to show you that you don't have to restart the app That's what I want to show you. You don't have to restart the app. I made myself look like a fool. But anyways, this will be all fixed in the future. But anyways, what about Bob? An ID of 3, question ID of 3, response ID of 3. We'll add a player name variable, and we'll add a confused feeling and wait for a response. And we'll add a 3 here, player response. And I'll say, what about Bob? And ID of 3, question ID of 4, and that's a 3, and it's going to confuse him. And we'll say next. We'll review the information. All the stuff is perfect. Let's go ahead and finalize. Let's go back to the beginning here. You're going to immediately notice that there's another one here. What about Bob? You can see all the stuff that's here. All the stuff that's here. And the question number didn't update, but just go to the startup, modify existing, and just go ahead and reload your Caterpillar. And you'll see that it updates everything. Everything's perfectly updated. Okay. Everything's perfectly updated. But don't worry, it'll all be auto completion, good error checking so you can't make mistakes, and also updating all in real time. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and again, this app will be released. There are some bugs in it, as you can see, but just be careful. Review, even though there's auto completion, just review your information. And currently, since auto completion is like semi good, it's good but not perfect right now. You'd be good to, if you see something here you can't modify, go ahead and just uncheck this and rewrite another question, but keeping in mind what the question you're about is doing, so you can actually modify the stuff here. And bam. Alright guys, thank you very much and hope you enjoy. Bye.